Hi, my name is Greg Whitt. I am a process improvement engineer. I work for MORryde International.
Hi, I'm Chris Stewart, I'm the manufacturing engineer here at Pollington Machine Tool. And this is how I use PICO and the templates and the variants.
The variants feature is something that we utilize to control a lot of similar part numbers that all need an individual process.
Our main use with templates and variants is for differentiating between right-hand, left-hand parts. We use it for translation to have one set of work instructions in English, another set of work instructions in Spanish. And we also use it for shipping labels with having a primary template built, and then each variant is a different part number.
Kind of a good example, we recently needed to change the order of operations, and we were able to do that to the entire family and move the torque caliper bolts, move that up in front of the spindle nut and the dust cap. The design engineers said, hey, for this reason and that reason, we need to have them do this first. That's now all controlled inside of PICO, rather than having to go and do that to 15 different variants here, and then there were several other variants in the 7,000 pound axle range. Instead of having to do that to all 20 or so PICO processes to change that order, basically do it to the templates, and it automatically gets pushed to all the variants for that as well.
So when I need to go to my different variants, and these are all the variants we currently have, I've got over 40 of them here of just different part numbers. So this is the variant I made for this part number here, and when they just scroll through the list, pick that part number, their job number, how many they want, and out it comes. I felt this was a better way to prevent typing in a part number wrong. If they've got it on the screen, they can verify that yes, this is the part number and rev level that I need to be printing, rather than relying on them typing it in, hoping they read the part number right before they typed it in and printed out over 100 labels.
So these are one example of a family of parts that we're managing with the variants tool, and operators would be getting a particular part number and a work order. They would be referencing a couple different charts that they would have posted that, depending on what series of chassis they were running, would give them some different torque values, different fastener counts, and also would give them shim pack information, which is now contained right here on slide 1. All they have to do is scan their work order, and it brings up the information that they need. And from an engineering standpoint, instead of having to go and make sure that we updated a whole list of different part numbers and making sure we push the right update to the right part numbers and we capture everything, we can now go and change the template and push that to all the connected variants, and we know that all those changes got pushed exactly where they need to go.
We've got a workforce that doesn't speak English for part of our processes, and so we went through, built the template for the work instructions in English, and as you can see here, we're installing crush tubes in. Got pictures, everything. We've even got where they're verifying, yes, all 6 tubes are in place and are yellow. We've got color-coded crush tubes that on one end are yellow, the other end of the part they're black. And here is our variant of it that is in Spanish. And again, it's same picture that carried right over from the template to the variant. We just had to change the text. And again, the count is here, and we just changed the text to put it in Spanish. This has allowed us to build out the work instructions, and then with the variant process, quickly make changes and make it easier to maintain, easier to keep track of everything. You make the change on your template and it spills over to the variants. Up front here in the office is where the time savings is just huge.
We have one engineer that is our driveline guy, and anytime there's issues with something in there, you got to go to him and make sure that he knows, hey, make sure that you reference this spreadsheet, and once you pull that information, you're going to need to make sure that you reference this spreadsheet. Again, all of that is now contained and documented so that I can pull it up, and I don't know chassis, I know PICO, but I know that information's been documented and it's contained, it's able to be referenced, and we've got all the data and the backwards traceability to match with it.
If I have someone else working on these to add other variants in there, the template's already made. All they've got to do is make the couple changes that for the next part they're doing. Gives me a lot of peace of mind without having to worry or thinking, okay, now I'm gonna have to go back and check, and do I have to rework half the stuff they did or any of that. It's a nice feature that makes it easy to add or expand on once you've got your template made.